There now, is it?
Hello, I am Lucas Paquetá.
Massive!
I'm very happy to be here. Come on, you guys.
Massive! You're massive! You're massive!
Hello everyone, welcome to the Boleyn Lounge. I'm Jeff, another Tuesday talk show. As you see, I've got Mick with me this evening. Thanks for joining me this week, Mick. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Nice to see you as always.
Yeah. You got Tommy's training and that done this evening, or did he not train?
They were training, but I was struggling to do both. I had other stuff to do, so I knocked the training on the head. He's got other.
Okay, well, I'm glad you could join me.
They've got other coaches there.
Cool. Okay, well, there's plenty to talk about this week, and lots of it positive. I'll come to the chat in a minute, but brief run through of the game. I don't know if you'd agree or not, but change of formation was good for us. I think we were all pleased to see that. Quite a big choice, I thought, on the goalkeeper front, but he stuck with Manson, so good luck to him. And first half was pretty cagey, a lot of misplaced sides for passes from both sides, I thought, and the fact that the first shot on goal was in 40-something minutes from sort of summed up the first half, really. I thought Forest looked like they were getting on top a little bit in the second half, but we seemed to have it all in front of us rather than we got them playing in front of us rather than getting behind us too much, although they did get quite a lot of crosses in. And it seemed to open the game up, I think, by a little bit more space in that second half as the game evolved, and it came a little bit more, what might be perceived a little bit more end-to-end. Introduction of the subs just absolutely changed the game. The dynamism of Somerville was brilliant to see. And at the end of the game, it was 3-0. I was kind of scratching my head in one way, saying, I don't know how we won the game 3-0. And then on the other hand, thinking, well, we could have got 4 or 5, because Forest kind of did a little bit what we do sometimes and sort of had a bit of a mini collapse in a few minutes, and we sort of tore them apart for a while there. What were your views on the game? Did you enjoy it, Mick? Were you impressed the first half, second half? Obviously happy with the result.
Well, I sent you the text before the game with my thoughts. The back four definitely worked, but we have been screaming for that for some time now. I agree with you on the Somerville thing, that when he came on, he changed the dynamics, because they didn't just have to worry about Bowen. The way they were doubling, trebling up and coming across to Bowen, suddenly they had to leave the other side. But yeah, if you look at the game as a whole, first half, I thought we were solid. Again, we was on Tony's show on Thursday, and that's what we was calling for, a bit of solidity. I kind of disagree with you a bit on the crosses. I thought that Walker, Peters and Diouf were outstanding, and I think they were.
I want to come to some individual performance. I don't want to concentrate on individual just now, because I do want to come to that.
There was just that solidity with them boys stopping the crosses and the centre half being in the right place. Yeah, no, overall, Forest didn't really touch us. And then, as you said, we made the changes and we got a little bit more adventurous. Then, we deserved to win the game. And Bowen should have had a second if it wasn't for our new centre forward trying to pinch it off him at the end. But, yeah, a good performance. Good performance all round. But, we're going to talk about some individuals later. We've plenty to say on that.
Well, I'd just like to catch up with the chat, say hi to everyone who's in here with us live, and then maybe we'll look into some of the individual performances, and obviously the live chat. The guys in there, they can put in their opinions as well.
Yep, sound.
So usual, Zinny says good evening. Hopes we're well. We're all good, thanks usual. Nice to see you in this week, buddy. Epic Hashtimes here. Good evening. Togs is here. Good evening, Togs. He says, I was in nappies when the intro music started. I'm 100 now. And then he goes on to say, good evening. I didn't think the intro was that long. I'll have to get Budgie to cut it down a little. Words and Pictures is in. Good evening. She says, good evening, Jeff and me.
Hello.
And the guys are just having a little chat amongst themselves. There, Aces is in. He says, finally won a game. I'll just scroll down these, try and catch up a little bit, and then perhaps we'll talk about some of the players' performances. I'll leave the guys, they're having a little chat in the chat there, so I'll let them do that amongst themselves. And Colin's in. Good evening, Colin. I hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. Yeah, lovely to see you.
And just getting on some of the performances now. I'll start with the goalkeeper. I mean, Potter chose to stick with him in the league, put him in. You could say it was a big decision or not. If it had gone wrong, his confidence would have been shattered. But as you alluded to, really, we protected him really well. He fielded a couple of saves. He punched a cross away. Collected a couple of crosses that I'm sure will do his confidence the world of good. And ultimately, we got a clean sheet. And so a good, solid performance for him that will really help him, I would think. And I don't think unless you've got anything to add to that, I don't think we dwell on it.
Actually, because, like, you know, I do bang on it a bit when we're talking amongst, you know, when me and you were talking sometimes, but that back four for him, yeah, it gave him more confidence. There was one of the, I think what was the winger that was Walker Peters was marking. He cut inside.
Hudson Odoi, wasn't he? He kept him really quiet.
But he cut inside there at the end of the first half. And had we been playing a back three, probably had more opportunity to put the ball somewhere else. But because the two centre-halves are in the right blocking position, he moved quickly to his left and made what looked like a simple save. But because the defenders were where they're supposed to be, where they understand where they're supposed to be, it gave him confidence. He got down. It was a good shot from inside the box, to be fair. I mean, it was from 16 yards, so he hit it. He got his full body behind it. And as you said, I liked how he came and took a couple of crosses, like got his hands to them, punched them away. Yeah, and I'm pleased for him because, like,
me too.
To be a young goalkeeper coming into a big club like West Ham, and it is a big club, yeah. And like everyone was on top of him, like these first couple of performances. But I put that down to the back four, to be honest. I just thought that back four on what night are we? Sunday. Sunday, sorry, losing me bearings. Well, our back four done really well Sunday.
Yeah, they did. I agree. And what I will say, I guess to add what I was saying before, actually, they really tried to put him under pressure, Hermanson, from the corners and crowd on him and all that. And he'd done well on a couple of occasions. And it'd be, I got the score right. I said it'd be 3-0. Just the wrong way round. So, you know, that's where my expectations were. And I thought they would terrorise us. And they did get a lot of crosses in. I thought we defended them really well. And you know, they had quite a lot of corners. Defended them quite well. I'm going to move on to the next player now, because there's been some question marks over whether or not he can defend. And on Thursday evening on Tony O, I kind of defended him a little bit, said, well, I think he's actually done quite well up to now. I think it was a really good test on Sunday. We managed them well, I think, all over the pitch, actually. And Jeff, I thought, done magnificently well in that left back role, and I thought he bailed Kilman out a couple times at the back post with headers as well. Really
Yeah,
impressed with him, and I think he can only get better. I'm really chuffed with him.
That's the thing, though, Jeff, isn't it? When you've got someone like Kilman and Mavropanos that are used to playing in the back four, so different playing with three centre halves and playing with two position-wise. That is Geoff's job. If he's at the far post, as it is for Walker Peters, if it goes over the centre halves, they're meant to be there. But the centre halves, particularly Mavropanos, put in two fantastic defensive headers in front of Woods. That had it been about three, how many times have we let in goals already this season where two centre halves going for the same ball?
Yeah,
they're in the right position. I just think that has to be the way forward. If I ever see a back three or a back five in West Ham again, I'll be. We haven't got the players there, but they're players that play to what their strengths are, which was on Sunday with the back four, with the two centre halves in the right position in the box, with the far post crosses getting knocked away by Peters, by Diouf, and sometimes Soucek when he's had to come in late. But it was what you would expect to see at this level, and they done it well.
Yeah, moving on to the centre halves, they both had good games. I think Mavropanos was probably the standout of the two. But I do think they kind of did what centre halves should do in a game.
Yeah, they should. I agree with you, but you still have to give them the body around them to do what they're meant to do. You know what I mean? It's like
And Walker Peters. I mean, he's put a marker down, hasn't he? I thought he had an absolutely terrific game. Pocketed Hudson-Odoi, I thought. Most of the game, got forward. Yeah. AWB's going to have to work hard to get his shirt back, isn't he?
I was laughing to myself there when you said Mavropanos was the better of two centre halves. We'll come on to the other person in a minute when you get around to it, but a couple of the things I read, when they give them marks out of 10, they give the others 7 or 8 and give him 6, and I was like, what game were you watching? Yeah, anyway, he gave the ball away a couple of times coming out, but we know he does that.
Yeah.
But he's not there for that. He's not there to set up attacks. He's there to win the ball in the air and stop shots and crosses and get his body in. So I was very I've seen him playing internationally a couple of times, 2-3 times, and he's always been solid. And I just think he put a really good show of himself there on Sunday. And yeah, I'm really pleased that we had a back four.
Yeah. In the midfield, got Soucek and JWP. I thought Soucek had a good game myself. JWP, I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. It was a really good team performance. I think it'd be hard to put anyone down. But I do think he looked a little bit exposed with the introduction of Fernandes. He looks like the weak link. But I don't know where we go with that going forwards or going into the Tottenham game. But for me, he looked the weak link in midfield.
100%. He's he got a higher mark in some of the things. You say he didn't do anything wrong, Jeff, but it didn't affect the game in any way.
No.
There was talk for Fernandes. There was 2, maybe 3 occasions, certainly 2, in the first half where Fernandes has come from a wide position to come in and tackle the man that James Ward-Prowse let go. And that's his thing. He runs into the pockets that he knows he has to defend. But if someone runs with him or runs at him, he hasn't got the pace. He's not a Premier League player. He's just not a Premier League player. And every pass he does is sideways or backwards. And he wants to get rid of the ball the minute he gets it. And you're playing in centre midfield, so you've got to have some composure. He didn't give the ball away, but he didn't do fuck all with it either.
No.
You know what I mean? So, and he gets showing up now. He's too slow.
Yeah.
I watched an interview with him middle of last week. He's a thoroughly nice bloke to listen to, and He's dedicated. I don't like to sit on here. I don't like to sit on here really and give out, run down anyone. But if it comes, what we're talking about is the football. He's not a Premier League player.
We're moving on to Fernandes, though. I mean, what a wonderful day he had. And he looks like he's going to really impact our team, doesn't he? I thought he was terrific. Standout performer. Came in a couple of days before, could have barely had a training session or two. Just see him getting better in our team, better and better. I guess you're going to wax lyrical about him as well, or not?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole. That's what I'm saying. He covered JWP. He gave Diouf the freedom in the limited amount of times to know he could go when he had to because he covered him. But the interesting thing was is he came off after 70 odd minutes, absolutely fucked, and he's just found out what the difference between the Championship and the Premier League is. Yeah.
Although he did play in the Premier League last year, though, so he kind of knows what he's. He played last year, so he kind of knows.
I'm under pressure. I with Southampton, it's a whole different ball game. Southampton were terrible, but I can only see him being a real star if he carries on that way. But he was absolutely fucked, so you got to give him credit for that. He's done really well, and he's moved, especially when he got forward, the little pockets he got into, the spaces.
Just imagine that's just going to get better and better as he gets more and more understanding of his team.
Yeah, absolutely. And Thomas, you mentioned earlier, again, you can't. Again, I feel you've said it a number of times. He's great to have in the squad, but again, he give his all. But I just think that. I said it at the beginning of last season. He should have been sold, and I think from the team improving next year, he needs to be replaced as well. Him and JWP, but he'll always be a West Ham legend after being in that team that won the cup. So, but
I can't believe he gets as much stick as he does off of some.
It's not that it's not giving him stick, Jeff. It's like when you're moving the ball quickly, like we were in that last 15 minutes. Yeah, he struggles with that. Yeah, and he's not the quickest. So when he's defending, he's got he's because he's such good at getting good positions. There was a great block he made towards the end of the second half through his body out. He's a clever footballer. He is a clever footballer. Yeah, and if you cut him open, he'd have claret and blue running through him. I'm not running him down. I'm just saying that like all players. Yeah, there's a time when the end has come, and I think this is his end season for him. That's all. But he'll always be a legend. It's like but it's we're talking about moving forward. He's that midfield of JWP and Souček is not one to take us forward.
That's for sure. I'm going to bypass Paqueta for a minute, so I want to come back to him.
Good idea.
Bowen, bit quiet first half. Seemed to hug the touchline quite a lot. Second half, I thought as the game opened up and he started to get a little bit more space, getting where he's dangerous, running at people, getting people frightened, backpedaling. He came more and more into the game, and his goal was wonderful. We got the subs, I thought, really impacted the game, as I said before. Somerville, he was involved in everything. Wilson, though, he was superb, wasn't he, for the time that he was on?
Well, he shows an appetite to want to play in the shirt, for one. Yeah, and play with a smile on his face, even when he robbed Bowen of his second goal. But he became a nuisance, and he became a nuisance because Somerville was on the pitch as well. A little bit hard on Falkirk that because you could see the minute the ball went right that way the whole Forest team went over, and they're not scared of Falkirk's pace, so they weren't that bothered that left a one-on-one, he's not going to go flying past anyone. But Paul Cook, in his fairness, I think the two decent chances we had first half and early second half were from him. But had he had the benefit of Somerville and Bowen either side of him, maybe he might have played as well as Callum Wilson. Who knows?
Won a few headers from the corners as well, didn't
Yeah.
he? I mean, he didn't get him on target or anything, but he won the headers, didn't he?
I'm not too opposed to Paul Cook for the rest of the season. To be fair, to be sharing it with Wilson or whatever, I think he, if he had the benefit of that last 15 minutes, he might have looked played a bit better as well. But it's very tough to play up there on your own. As you said, Bowen hugging the touchline or playing as an inverted fullback at times, covering the spaces in the first half, playing from very, very deep Bowen. So it is hard for Paul Cook. So I kept looking, I'm thinking he's been marked by three men and they're not even giving him balls that are into his feet that he can hold it up. They're all sort of poor balls out, So I think overall, yeah, I'd say apart from JWP, didn't do anything wrong, didn't do anything right particularly, and didn't affect the game. But as I said, I don't think he's a Premier League player, but that's that.
I want to leave him out because we've done just about everyone else. So, I mean, he came on. He showed that he's a perfectly functional squad player, didn't he?
Who's that?
Irving.
Oh, Irving. Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. I was going to mention.
Yeah, so I don't want to leave him out. So, he came on and he can't knock the guy.
I was going to ask you a question about him tonight because everyone's sort of going, oh, you're going to get 2 million or 3 million for him or whatever, and he's going to this team and that team.
Uh-huh.
But interestingly enough, again, whenever I see him come on as a sub, right, has he ever not done his job? And for me, the answer is no. I don't know about what you think. Yeah,
no, I agree. And he played at Chelsea. He had a really good game, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think, again, and this is where, not to keep going at JWP, but, when you've got him on the bench, you've got Potts on the bench,
yeah,
kind of think. And then and Bissaka, I know that Bissaka's perceived as a right back. Personally, I'd love to see Walker Peters keep his place and put Wan-Bissaka in there with his legs, his tackling, his running. Yeah, there's this idea that he's a right back and can't play anywhere else. Not in the modern game. I don't believe that at all. I think there's another option in midfield for me there in terms of winning the ball, running with the ball, having the pace on the tackle. He's the best tackler in the club.
We shouldn't talk about that now, though, Mick, because he didn't feature in that game. So we're moving. I know you're a fan of that, and you've said it before, but we could talk about the leading up to who we think we should play at Tottenham or something like that. But we should focus on, I suppose, the man of the moment. You couldn't really say anything other. Whatever your thoughts on him, Luke Kerr, and I think he showed just about every side of Paqueta there is in that game for me. He threw himself around on the floor a little bit. He won some clever free kicks. He covered just about every blade of grass, and just completely contributed to the game. And then, of course, the celebration after his penalty goal was just wonderful for the fans, and especially for those in the stadium. I know sometimes you have a different view of Paqueta, so I'd be interested to see if you see it quite the same way or not.
I knew that was coming. But my view hasn't changed. Just, I know I've said it on this show, and I said it well, if he never played for West Ham again, it wouldn't bother me. Yeah. And the reason I said that, particularly when we were talking about it last Thursday on Tony's show, is that I understand he's had the mental situation around him with the betting and what have you, yeah. But you cannot honestly tell me in all of last season and a bit of the season before when he was trying to go to Man City, which you mustn't forget, yeah. It's all this kissing the badge and all that. He was quite happy to go to Man City, yeah, and then the betting scandal dropped in. And I asked you last week on Tony's show, tell me how many games has he affected in the last 2 years where he's been like, and that's my problem with him. Yeah, let's just see with all the badge kissing and all the determination, he is on his day unplayable. Yeah, but is he going to do it every week? And that's my problem with him. Was it because of the betting scandal? Yeah. Was he playing so well before because he wanted to move to City? Then it all went wrong. Yeah. We've all seen. Look at Isaac kissing the badge, and the next thing he's won the cup, and I'm fucking off to Liverpool. Fuck yes. So I want to see. Was he playing that well on the other night because he wanted to go to Villa? Who knows what the stories were with Villa there? Yeah. So the jury's out for me on him still. I'm not saying he wasn't brilliant. He was fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Will he do it next week and the week after? He can't play to that level of performance. That was outstanding performance. But he wants to be somewhere near that week in, week out. And I'll be interested to see, just now the transfer window's closed and he's there and I'm not going anywhere, put the phone down, probably the deal fell through. But let's just see if his mentality is that of Soucek's, where he will give everything in every game. And if he does, then we're inside the top 10. It's as simple as that. We're not going down. Yeah, but I question his commitment and his overall mentality towards the club. But let's see. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong.
Fair enough. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat a little bit now, Mick. So, Toga says, can we still get free transfers in? I cannot fully believe Brownhill has not landed yet. I have to say, yeah, we can get free transfers in, and I'm a little bit surprised that Brownhill hasn't landed yet as well, and he may well do. I'll be honest with you, though. I wouldn't be fully against it. I'm a bit disappointed that that's all we'll do. We should have done perhaps a little bit more. I think maybe if we do a show next week, because I think England are playing, so we might not. But if we do, maybe we'll do a bit of a transfer focused one, and we could talk about that. But maybe Brownhill will be here by then.
I think if we did the Potts, to be fair, I wouldn't want to see Brownhill ahead of Potts getting the game. But that's my own opinion.
Usual says Forest channel slaughtered Gibbs White after the game, saying how overrated he is. Their words, not mine. I thought Gibbs White had a very, very average game, I have to say. There was a couple of times where he made some poor passing that I was surprised of. Colin says, gents, it's a good win, but I'm not going overboard about one game because I think some of the games coming up we put under pressure more. 100%. I do agree. I thought we'd come under a lot of pressure at Forest. And I tell you what, I think if we'd have played that wing-back system and left the gaps where we were leaving gaps, we really would have been in trouble. But the formation change made us so much more solid. And I hope he sticks with it upcoming games. I can't see why you'd want to change it after that performance, but who knows? Word says, I heard a hound that sounds like it's a descendant of the hound, one from the Baskerville. Yeah, that's my Coco. Someone must have been walking by the house or something. Lynn's out, so yeah, she's a big, loud girl.
Who, Lynn or the dog?
Tog says, sorry about that, words. I tend to howl when I'm excited. Usually says, yeah, he took the defeat well after the game. Then again, 24 pints of Cruz Campo must have helped. I haven't seen yet his reaction. And Tox is saying, of course, that a number plane. Tox is saying, Somerville are far too slight to play at this level, we are told. Let's hope Guilherme can impact like this when he gets a chance. Yeah, totally agree. know how fit Somerville's going to be when Spurs comes around. It's another couple of weeks, whether he'll be fit to start or not. But hopefully it won't be far away when he's going to be available every week. And then if you got Guilherme coming back from his shoulder problem, be a great option to bring off the bench, wouldn't it?
Well, you've got the Brazilian as well, haven't you? Now, not the Brazilian, what's his name? The Frenchman's coming, isn't he?
Magassa,
Gassa.
the guy who sounds like out of a Disney film.
But he's supposed to be able to get around about. When you look at the squad, with the free transfers, Callum Wilson and what have you, and the loan that we've just made, and then these two boys coming in, it does change the squad, because then you look at the bench and you look at there are half decent players on the bench now, rather than you've got Scalzi on the bench who's trying to make an impact. Potts, if he starts with the same 11, you'll have Somerville on there. You'll have the French guy. You'll have the boy we just bought from Brighton. He's suddenly looking a little bit better, So yeah, we're not getting carried away by the one game, Colin, but I would say that things look more hopeful now than they did a week ago.
Yeah, definitely. Fernandez as well is
that's what I'm saying, with the new boys in.
Cheerful, isn't it? Usual says your appearance by Somerville was outstanding. Togs follows that up with word up, usual, which is very good. Word says, I'm happy we have Igor on loan, as that annoyed a friend who's a Liverpool fan because it meant they couldn't sign Gay. Yeah, that was a funny kind of unravelling there, wasn't it? He turned Palace down to come to West Ham. I heard it was because they were signing another centre-back and he wants more chance of game time. So he's wanting to come to West Ham to play.
Yeah, I think, it's usual bullshits that come out along the way. He was at Crystal Palace, which we definitely know because he was seen on Sky Sports there at the ground.
Yeah, he left there to come to have a medical.
It then said that he failed his medical, which, I find that hard to believe, that he failed a medical and then comes over and signs on for West Ham, because they would have used the information from that medical. They wouldn't have had time to do a medical with him. So, yeah.
But some players seem to pass West Ham medicals that shouldn't. So I don't know whether that's a good barometer.
The interesting one is that that would be typical West Ham, not Crystal Palace. We'd have a fellow in the building. Next thing, he's jumped in a taxi and he's signing for someone else. So it was quite funny, really.
Usual's got a question for you. He says, was it Paqueta or was it Sullivan laying the ground for selling him?
I'm not that informed to answer that properly, but it depends. I suppose there's two sides of that. Did Paqueta want to go to Villa? I'd say there's a 50-50 chance of that. I'd also say that it could have been Sullivan-led, because he might have been looking to buy a couple of players late and needed the money. So I'd say it's probably a bit of twofold. There might be a bit of everything in there, but I'm not in a position to answer that. I don't really know, but my suspicion was that Paqueta was playing for the move, it just puts the most outstanding performance he's had probably in the last 18 months or more on the day that they're talking about him going to Villa the next day. So who knows? But yeah, good luck. If I turn out to be wrong, I'll be delighted. But let's see what he does the rest of the season.
Yeah, my view on that is I definitely think Sullivan's laying the ground. And I said on the show last Thursday that if we get somewhere between 50 or 60 million for him, if they got a Sullivan, would want to sell him. And I'm not sure that Paqueta is. I'm not saying he wouldn't leave, but I'm not sure that he's angling for a leave, and I think he'd be happy to stay. I think if the club said, we've got this offer and we'll take it for you, because I think it's much the same as Kudus, that Sullivan, regardless of whether it was the right fit, whether he wanted to move on, whether he was disruptive in the dressing room, any of the things that may have been levelled at him, I think he came here to get a move. And I think Sullivan was always looking to cash in, and I think he was always looking to cash in on Paqueta if he could this summer as well. But I'm no more informed than you are, Nick. That's just my opinion. So, you know,
if you're asking the question again, and I'm not, I know at the moment my view on Paqueta is not perhaps the same as everyone else's, but just say he was offered, or the offer for 60 million. And he could bring in 2 more players like Fernandes and what's his name? Magassa. If he could have brought in 2 players like that for that money, then it goes back to what we were talking about last Thursday, where we've just bought players, bring them in, and then we can't sell them. So it might have been a good bit of business in the end, who knows? But it didn't happen. And if at the end of the day, Paqueta turns out to be top boy for us this year, then great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You are eating your words, because it will mean Paqueta has had an outstanding season.
Well, and I'll eat my words, no problem.
Yeah. Tara says he hopes Igor is a better loan than the previous one from Brighton. I mean, Ferguson was an absolute flop while he was here, wasn't he?
He's doing well at Roma, though.
Yeah. Well,
different
that's
league.
No good to us, is it?
No, but it's a different league. It's like there was I'm not going to quote them because I can't remember them. I was watching something on Sky Sports the other day, and they were doing about sprints and runs and distances covered in a game. The Premier League was so far ahead. The next one was Spain, and then I think it was Germany and then Italy. You know, the difference in the distances running the game and the amount of sprints was huge. So, you know, when these players go to these foreign countries, or like Arsenal centre forwards come in, that bloody hell, what's wrong with me naming tonight? He's struggling, and Sesko is struggling to make an impact at United and at Arsenal, you know, to be like what they were where they've come from, because they're finding it more difficult. So
words sums things quite nicely for West Ham here, I think. Where we're at the moment. He says, I'm provisionally pleased with our formation and play against Forest. Hesitantly hopeful for future games. Nice to feel uplifted after the match. And it was.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Colin says, I'm very disappointed we didn't get another young striker. I'm worried about the position, so you cannot guarantee that Fulcrum won't get injured and we might pay for not getting a striker. I think most people would go that. I guess we should talk about the transfer window before we go, Nick.
Just want on that comment.
Yeah,
I understand it, but when you've got Somerville in the side and Guilherme back, and Marshall, that's the name I was trying to think of. Marshall, you're not so stuck really, because you could have the 2 wingers with Bowen down the middle. You could play Paqueta, as he did very, very well for a period against Chelsea, where he played a false 9. So
I think that might be his favoured go-to before any of the other things you suggested. Personally.
Yeah, so there are options, but I agree that maybe in January or maybe the summer, I'm more confident there will still be a Premier League side sitting here today than I was this time last week. So hopefully, we've got rid of. I know you're moving on to it, Jeff, but we got rid of an awful lot of wage bill in the last the last 6 months, which is going to open up opportunities again. Probably not in January, but in the summer.
No, it absolutely did. I've done a couple of bits on that, but I haven't got it ready for tonight. But if we do something next week or the week after, I'll have all the figures together. But just a little sum up of the window. What were your thoughts on that, Nick? And please, you guys in the chat as well, let us know what you think, good or bad. I find it, you have to kind of dissect the window a little bit, to be fair, because is it good or bad? Right, well, let's just, if we say about the players that we've actually recruited, I don't think it's been a bad window. I've recruited quite well. If you say, have we fulfilled all of our needs with our recruitment? No. But then were we ever going to do that in one window? Probably not, right? And then we look at how have we sold and how do you judge that? And I think you could say we probably haven't sold brilliantly. So it's a bit of a mishmash of perhaps being semi-successful, falling short, and a bit rubbish in different ways.
Yeah, well, I think we got 17 million for Nagar, which I think we've done well to do that. We can't get rid of Rodriguez. What did we pay for him? Do you know?
Rodriguez?
Yeah.
We didn't pay anything for him, but I think
he
got a signing on fee and 5k a week.
That's not so bad. But then when you see Ings has gone out the window on £6 million a year wages. Who else has gone out the window?
Antonio's 90k a week.
Yeah, Emerson. Yeah, gone out the window. Oh, I got £1 million for him. I think he could have stayed. I think he could have done a job, to be fair, Emerson. I'm not, he's better than JWP in terms of what he could bring into the team, but he's gone. But again, a big wage bill went with him. Say Antonio, Fabianski.
On Emerson, Nick Carr, he could, like you say, but I don't think he would have got any football. So I don't think he would have got any football, really.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think
I don't think he was fancied by Potter. He was in a bit of the bomb squad. So last year of his contract, he goes at his age. He goes, moves, plays some football. Club gets £1 million. I'm a little bit. It's okay with me. I know some people are a bit more upset about it, but I'm sort of okay with it.
He's not the future, but what I'm saying is, if you're struggling with your squad, he's an experienced player you may have kept, but then he's a big wage bill. So, and he's not the future. So, if you're going to get something for him and get him off the wage bill to make PSR better for you, not the next window, but the window after, I don't think the next window is going to be that particularly good either. But I think overall it was a good window. I was pleased for the keeper. Really pleased that he settled in. It was time for Fab to go. He's 41 this season. You can't have, it's just time. It was his time. He done well. Great keeper for us in his time. He had to go. So I think. Huh?
Like Kufel, he's been a great servant.
I forgot about Kufel. Yeah, it's a good window to prepare for next summer, I would say. Get the wages off there, free up some money. There's no one saleable. If you look through that team, you take the players you've just bought. Walker Peters again, another good addition. Diouf, another good addition. Yeah, Diouf saleable. Peters kind of is 28, 29 by the time the season's over. Yeah, there's not really any saleable players in that team for big money. Paqueta will be 29 next year. No one's going to come in offering 60 million for him, for instance. Bowen's 29 next season. There's no big sell-on values there for me. So they've got to start again, getting in younger players. They're going to do that, and they've got to use the youth. You look how clever Chelsea have been. Chelsea have got in 370 million in sales today, up to yesterday. 370 million in sales.
I know, but I think it just demonstrates what I'm saying when it comes to selling players, how poor. That's where we are.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You can't have
Yeah,
anyone. You've got it.
So if you break the window up in sections, the selling bit was a
Yeah.
bit rubbish, wasn't
Rubbish. Yeah.
it? Anyway, moving on to the comments. Tog says, I still would have liked Kelleher.
Yeah.
Happy that Potts, Earthy, Scarles and Casey have been retained. And he just corrects himself underneath. He says he meant Mark Casey. I'd go along with that. Kelleher, I think the problem was with Kelleher, and none of us believed it at the time. I certainly didn't. That Sullivan was saying we have to sell before we can buy, and we haven't got any money. And it turns out that we did have to sell before we could buy. And Kelleher moved before we had any money. Now, I don't know if that's really the case, but if it was the case, that might suggest Kelleher would have been a good move. I think everyone would have been happy with that, but it's not to be.
I mean, you could. Yeah, it was a ridiculous price to get him for. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Was cheap.
Just demonstrates how bad we are at selling players. Well, we've got to the end of the comments there, Mick.
Have we?
We have.
We're not inspiring the chat this week, then, Jeff.
We're certainly not. No, we need Budgie here to get the chat going.
We need a bit of controversy.
He wants to know if Antonio will be on the bench for the Spurs game.
Well, he's still training and playing with the under-21s, I understand.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be no surprise if come 6, 8, 10 weeks you suddenly find he's got a 6-month contract. That wouldn't surprise me, because he doesn't seem to be doing. There's no one jumping through hoops for him. Sorry, Jeff. Go on.
No, go on, mate.
Did Celtic sign Garnacho, Garnacho, whatever his name is?
Iniacho.
Iniacho, yeah. Did they sign him?
No, I don't think so. I think he's on
a free. He's on a free transfer.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can offer him a season-long deal and see what he feels like at the end. Do it another year's option or something, because he's not that old. He's probably in his late 20s. He's probably Bowen's age, isn't he? I don't think he's much older than that, is he?
No, and this goes back to Colin's point, that Wilson and Fulkrug are going to break down through the season. I think we can rely on them. Mm-hmm. Wilson's not a start the game striker, is he? Every week.
Well, not a finish. He's not 90 minutes. That's what I would say.
No. Anyway, Colin says the Agurd fee we got was to balance the books, so he's heard.
Yeah, well, again, Colin, he refused to even get changed on Sunday, didn't he?
He's got form, isn't he? And my fear, I'm not even coming out and saying it just now. I've said before, I think he doesn't fancy the Premier League. When I had the links to Sunderland, and said, "Oh, he's to France instead of Sunderland." I said, yeah, of course he does. He was never going in the Premier League. I don't think he enjoys the. You're just talking about it, pace of the game. That I don't think he likes it. I think it's too demanding for him.
Mm.
I didn't know about this. Did you, Mick? Talk says.
Yeah, £20,000.
Yeah,
£20,000, and they defer 10,000 of it to the end of the season because they haven't got the money to pay for it.
Yeah, but he's right. What he says, in the old days, they would have been thrown out, or maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I heard that on the car on the way home. I don't know what the change of rules was. Yeah. I would have thought automatically out. If you'd done that in local football and someone found out, you'd just be taken out of the competition. So yeah, strange.
Yeah. So it is strange. It is. And Tox also says he'd be interested to see what Cummins can do when he's fit again. I saw a little bit of Cummins in one of the 21 games a few weeks ago, and I have to say I was a little bit uninspired by his performance. Actually,
Where does he play?
He's a centre forward. The guy we got from Celtic, the young lad.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, the 18-year-old. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's really going to
About
get
him, to be honest.
near the first team this season.
Well, he was in Celtic's first team, wasn't he? He did play.
Well, he
not a regular.
He was around the squad.
He's been on the pitch.
Yeah.
Being 18 these days, I don't know. You look at that King that plays at Fulham. I've seen him play twice now in the last week, full 90 minutes. Fantastic lad, 18 years of age. That's why it annoys me with Potsy and Ward-Prowse, to be fair.
They got the young lad at Arsenal there playing. Was he 15? He got to sit for his exams, didn't he?
Liverpool scored the other day, 16. So I don't think the age has got anything to do with it. It's the old adage: if you're good enough, you're old enough. But yeah. So we spend too much time worrying about putting these kids out on loan, and then, as I say, the Potts thing with JWP annoys me. You know, Potts is now
me too.
Trying to play football for the first team. Or fucking sell him. We don't want him, sell him. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that. Don't fuck him about.
I mean, you can't see him starting against Spurs, can you? He hasn't used it.
Well, let's put it this way. If JWP starts against Spurs, then yes, I can see him starting. I don't see how he plays in front of him. Yeah, to be honest. But that's it.
I don't see Potts starting against Spurs. No,
but what I'm saying is, if he plays JWP, then I would question that massively, because he's got the French.
It's a bit far away. We don't know whether he threw Hansen straight in. He threw Fernandez straight in. Will he throw Magassa straight in?
Why not? Why not?
What I'm saying is, he's not frightened to do that. That's one thing he's shown. He's not frightened to throw them in. So I don't know anything about this Magassa, really. I've never seen him.
Well, do I? I didn't know nothing about Fernandez, to be fair.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know if he's good enough to be thrown in, but Potter has definitely shown that he is brave enough to that. But he's not going to throw Magassa and Potts in, is he?
No, so what I'm saying is, he either plays Magassa instead of JWP, yeah, or he plays Magassa instead of Soucek and plays JWP, which that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. Right, but if he's going to play...
I agree, it's one or the other, I think.
Yeah, and if he does play JWP and he's got Potts on the bench, then I think it's another big fucking mistake from him. That's all I'm saying.
No, I wouldn't argue against you, Nick. I'm just talking about what I think's the likelihood of what's going to happen.
Where's the West Ham way? Where's all this academy? You're supposed to... We keep on about this academy. You fucking tell me who's come out of our academy.
Yeah? I don't think there's a West Ham fan in the land right now who's not hugely frustrated at the lack of game time that Potts is getting at the start of this season, because he featured all through pre-season. He looked fine. The only game I thought I passed him by a little bit was the Lille game. I thought that did, but you know, it's going to happen.
You can all have bad games.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You've only got Scalzi. Pardon? What's that?
No. What usual?
I say you've also got Scalzi in the mix as well. That's on the bench and stuff. I'm not saying he should be in place of Diouf at the moment, but it's got to be given a go along the way. Liverpool do it, Arsenal do it, other teams like that do it.
Yeah, definitely. Just going to see what words. Potts not starting is so annoying. He's been with us since he was 6. Deserves a few games to prove himself. And I just agree with it. I think he showed he was good enough in pre-season. I'm just frustrated he isn't getting more game time. I think he will in the course of the season. I'd just like to see a bit more of him a little bit sooner. But anyway,
go on.
I'm going to wrap the show up here unless you've got anything you really want to say, because I know that Stell's going to be on in about 30 minutes.
Really?
And Stell on the West Ham Voice.
All right.
He's going to be doing his transfer show, and I know a lot of these guys are going to be wanting to go over and join him. And Tank team might have won the league in their local league, so I'm going to pop round the pub and see and celebrate with them. And usually got work in the morning, so you're not wanting to stay much later.
No, I usually cut off around 9 anyway, which it is now anyway.
Yeah.
All right,
so
thanks for the
before we go, just say thanks to everyone in the chat. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Feel free to use the comment section if you're watching this back. And I'll catch up with you, Mick, see if you want to do a show next week. It's International Week and England play on Tuesday, so
I'll be a bit of I'll be on Tuesdays, but save having the push, I'll say no because I'll be coaching the kids. So yeah, there's an international break, as you say, so we'll take it.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then.
Thanks for your time, Mick. Thanks for joining. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Sorry, mate.
I'll speak to you on the phone anyway.
Yeah, no dramas.
All right, buddy.
Thanks to all you guys in the chat. Thanks for joining us. You're much appreciated, as always. And hopefully, we'll see all you guys next